Hello. Before you start watching me ramble for a while, let me just tell you who I am, so you know if I'm legit. I mostly shoot commercials because not many good films are being made in my country, and I decline when it's not a good film. But when it's a commercial, it's fine, because I just go in and I go out for 2 days. For this year, I've been the most shot actor in my country. As far as I know, that's what people have told me. I don't have, a spreadsheet or something. I have around, if we include theater, maybe 80 or 90 productions behind my back I've been acting for 12 years, but I've been active for 6. Something like this. That's me. Now let me show you some of my clips in the previous months, years, decades, centuries, and whatever. I'm not gonna show you any films because, I have to, First tip, know why. The sun just went behind a cloud, so I'm gonna come closer. What do you think acting is gonna give you back in return? Why are you doing it? Are you having fun? Do you think it's gonna give you a lot of money? Do you want to touch people with it? Not in the literal sense, but you know what I mean? Touch them. Do you want to make yourself into somebody who's recognizable? Know why, because if you know why, then you know what kind of decisions to make. I don't know why I'm doing it, to be honest. It's just natural. If it's just natural for you, cool. That's a good reason to start. But I'm continuing acting because I'd like to make films as an actor. Why? I don't know. I think it's for me it's fun. It's fun. It's my way of living, in a sense. Let me just tell you, you won't get that much money from it, but if you're good at acting, you're gonna be fine financially, or even you might be even considered rich. This depends on the country in which you're acting in. Mostly, I myself am doing international stuff, but it's mostly shot in my country. So yeah, after you figure out why, then you can follow your path. It's fine to decline offers. I decline offers constantly if they pay not enough money, because my face is going to be recognizable at a commercial, if the script is not decent. Second thing you need to know about acting and about probably any job, it's connections. I am not good at social networking, but I'm trying to do it as much as possible when I like the people. At this rate, I'm not doing it that much because I have the connections I need. But get connections. Don't think about only having a good audition. If you like this casting director, because if you like him, show it. So he's gonna call you back. I don't like all casting directors in my country, so when I don't like them, I show it, because most of the time I'm lucky that my taste for people matches with my taste of art. I like the people, I like the art they're gonna call me for. Most of the time, if you don't like the people, it's probably because what they are casting you for is not something you're gonna be enjoying, to go and act. But yeah, connections are very important. So go to like maybe bars or cafeterias or events in which you might go to movie premieres, speak to the people. When you're watching a film, look at who's the casting director, all that stuff. And maybe branch out. Don't stick only to acting, because if you know, like, let's say who's the cinematographer or who's the sound mixer, connections built. They roll by. Now, the third thing, who are you? Ask yourself, who are you? Why should I hire you? Do you have something that stands out? When you go to an audition, and if you're just like, hello, my name is Dane, I'm not from Denmark, I like cheese. Okay, man, good for you. And you don't need to be extremely special. You don't have to be like, my name, I'm George, I am from Georgia. No, you have to be yourself. That's the most important, being authentic. When a director sees a casting slate, especially if it's for a commercial, he has 10 seconds, 15, 20 at best. I mean, don't make your audition 5 minutes. Nobody cares about you, man. You don't need to say, yes, I studied acting when I was 3 years old, then I continued when I was 5 years old into a different agency, then when I was 7 years. Shut up! I don't care, man. Move on. So how do you do a casting slate? Let me show you. You go and you say, hello, my name is blah blah blah. I like to act. I've been doing it since I was born. It's impossible? Okay, I've been doing it before I was born. I don't know, man. Then you show your profile, your back, blah blah blah. Your other profile, maybe you look around your shoulder, and then you don't turn, but I do it because of the cable. And then your front. No glasses, haha, you smile, you show your hands, blah blah blah, but both hands, that's it. 15 seconds. But you need to be yourself, because you need to captivate someone's attention. And especially for commercials, what's most important is your presence. If you don't have presence, you don't get the job. As simple as that, man. If you have presence though, if you've been authentic in front of the camera, then that's good, man. That's all you have to do. That's all you have. Honestly, it's not less is more, it's not more is less, it's somewhere in the middle. You need to show yourself slightly, exaggerated maybe, depends on the person, and that's it. If you're authentic, it's cool. After asking yourself, who are you? Then the question comes, why you? Why you has to be answered after who are you. After you know yourself, then you know how to present yourself. Fifth tip, which I also tend to forget constantly. That's why I have it on my wall. Acting is a craft. It's not a job interview. It's not. You have to be passionate about it. When you go there, you don't just present yourself. You're presenting yourself, presenting a character. Even this version of yourself, the casting audition, it's not completely yourself. It's a character. So go into that character. Have the respect to yourself and to other people who are gonna watch this casting audition to make a craft. It's like if a painter, or I don't know, let's say a painter. If a painter just paints for stuff to be sold, he's not a painter. He's people's pleaser. You don't want to be a people's pleaser if you want to become an artist. You need to have respect towards others by showing them your true nature. Very important. So keep in mind, just go in, give yourself, be free. Don't think about, what they're gonna say if I'm, scratching my head all the time. That's you, man. That's you. Know that this is your character and this is how you want to portray it. Or maybe if you like this all the time. That's you, man. That's you. Remember this. If you give your all, you'll be fine going outside from the door of the audition. You'll be like, I'm glad I gave it my all, man. And you're not gonna be like, why didn't I, did it? Whichever the thing you might apply to, have fun. It's not gonna be the first one, it's not gonna be the last casting audition. It might be, but you never know. Now, I'm gonna start a bit more practical, a bit more inside the job type of tips. How much does it pay? I'm gonna divide it into sections. First section is commercials. Commercials are the easiest to get, and most time, unless you know like a big name, they pay the best. So I'm shooting only international commercials. I don't want to be recognized in my country and all that stuff. I'm shooting for Ireland, for Indonesia. Don't care, man. It's commercial. You go in and you get paid. As you saw in the show reel, I've been in the music video for Dua Lipa, but I've also been for all kinds of commercials, like Suzuki, let's say. Suzuki is one of my most well-paid commercial. If I was in euros or in dollars, so I'm not gonna say my currency, I've got 5,000 for Suzuki, 5,000 let's say dollars. Yeah, this varies depending on the region in which you're shooting from, not into, but from. Because the production company asks for some kind of money for you, and then you might go to India, But if you're from India, you might be getting less because, standards. But for Dua Lipa, it's my least paid thing. I didn't know who Dua Lipa was before I shot it. No offense to, I don't know. Who cares, man? I didn't know. And for Dua Lipa, I got $200. Imagine that. People think that the bigger the gig, the more money you get. Nope. Shooting for Warner Brothers, for Disney, for Nike, these big companies, they don't pay well all the time. My least paid stuff is actually for the biggest companies, but also my most well paid stuff is also for the biggest companies. So you never know. It's not a constant. If you don't like the money, you can ask for more. I've asked for more, but who are you to ask for more? Do you think you're better than everybody else? Or do you think I don't know. Ask yourself this question before you ask for more money. I always ask for more money only if my part has been, upgraded. If I was cast as a secondary character, but they decide to switch me to the main character for some reason, which, believe it or not, it happens. From 10 commercials, 6 of them I've been upgraded to a bigger part. So then I ask, my face is gonna be, I have all these close-ups. If you have a close-up, you get money. If you don't have a close-up, you don't get money. I have a stunt, so if you have a stunt, I have more shooting days, I have rehearsals, all that stuff. Nobody is gonna offer you more money unless you ask. It's a big system. You have the casting agent who's speaking to the second assistant director, who's speaking to the first assistant director, who's speaking to the secondary producer, who's speaking to the executive producer, who's speaking to someone in the agency, who's speaking to someone actually in the agency, who's actually speaking to the client, and the client has to speak with the marketing something. This is how big the chain is. The bigger the production, the bigger the chain. Try to cut down, from the connections you have, try to cut down to actually speak to the producer or to the client yourself. Try to cut down the system, because people are anxious about asking for money. That's just how it is. The money they offer you is probably being thinned down by the chain. So if you ask for more, then actually it's gonna raise, Simple as this. How to get the casting? My only tip is, besides, the authenticity, think yourself as the one casting the people. What would you like to see? Imagine you're the director of the thing. What would you like to see? And this is how I get from 10 auditions, I get 7 to 8. Depends. Sometimes you're not for the part. That's it, man. You don't know. Believe me, most casting directors are very dumb people. Only the top of the top have some decency and have some clarity about how to cast others. Most casting directors just call in people and they don't know if they fit for this part or not. Stay away from those. They won't stay in the game for that long. Or maybe if you like it, stay in the game with them. But my advice is, get away. For those people who have never shot anything, for commercials you have 2 prices. Your day of shooting, which is let's say $200, and your rights. The rights to use your face for something, which might be 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 1 million. It all depends. You have your acting fee and your rights fee. The rights is what gives you the money. That's just how it is. If you sign for 2 months, and let's say that's $1,000, let's say, if they scale it to 4 months, you can say, okay, listen, I won't be able to use my face in this country for 4 months, which usually is not the case, but some countries, so I need to be able to sustain myself, my standard of living, only by this commercial for 4 months. So in that case, I'm gonna ask for 4 times what you offered me. If it was for 1 month, 1,000, for 4 months, 4,000. Something like this. Tip number 9. How do you maintain your image? That's a big question. Wow. Sometimes it's impossible to maintain your image. Right now, I'm shooting a film in 2 weeks, and I have this beard on. So if they ask me for something, if I have to trim my beard, I have to consider it, Maintaining your image is very important. I have decided to stay in the neutral state. I have no tattoos, I have no piercings, I don't have a crazy haircut, I'm neutral, so I can pick upon whichever is needed. But previously, 5 years ago and 4 years ago, and I switch it up constantly, so I stay fresh. my appearance doesn't become dull. But I had this idea when I was 17, no, even 16. I'm gonna start growing my hair, and if they needed me to cut it, I'll just say, yeah, man. But if they need me with long hair, because wigs are very difficult to make, especially a couple of years ago, to be, authentic. If they want me to cut my hair, I will. If they want me to have long hair, already have it. The issue was nobody wanted me to cut down my hair. So know yourself, man. It doesn't work. It's maintain your image however you think is best. At this time, I thought this was the best option. I still managed to have gigs, but now as I'm a better actor, I've decided to stay neutral, which sometimes is tiring. Sometimes I want to have a scar, man. I want to have a fight, and don't give a crap. But then I'm gonna be selected for people with scars. Anyhow, think what's the best. I think the best is to be neutral, so you can scale up and down whichever is needed. If you're a model, I am not a model. I hate photo shoots. I'm not good at it. I mean, I know how, poses and stuff, but not my thing. If you're a model, maybe specialize in this if you want. If you have a weird face, maybe specialize in this, But I'd say keep yourself neutral. What's next? Huh? What happens after you get the casting? You go in and you need to up your game. Every single time you need to up your game and up your game and up your game. And maybe after a while make yourself a showreel, branch out, go to different regions and all that stuff. Always when you're doing something, ask yourself what's next. When I go in and I'm shooting this, maybe I like the director, maybe I speak with him privately, maybe, because if you speak privately to the director, maybe at lunch, you're gonna build some kind of connection with him. And maybe when he's making some nice film, he's gonna be, oh yeah, this guy, yeah, he was cool. I'm not sure if he's a good actor because I saw him just in one scene, but I felt the connection with him. It's very important. And how do you continue and getting gigs and gigs and gigs? If you're getting picked by directors for different kind of stuff, casting directors love it, believe me. It's tedious to find new people. That's just the truth. It is, man. I'm sorry. It's just it. In my country, there's like 10 actors in the commercials which are just rolling around, circling each other. And it's for a reason, because we know how to actually do the job. I mean, sometimes you get new people, that's perfect, but casting directors don't help you that much unless you're very cool. Then they might help you. If you're getting picked, casting directors are gonna call you all the time because they know that instead of calling 50 people for this part, they can just call 5 and you're one of them. So they do less work, they get the same amount of money. It is how it is. Sometimes they get for each person they call, but that's very occasional. And you get more jobs. I'm gonna give you a bonus tip. Bonus tip? I know. This video is way too long. It's way too much rambling, probably for some people. But yeah, there's no but. I just should have structured the whole video a bit better. It is what it is, man. What do you do when you have no gigs? Huh? What do you do, man? Do you just stay and wait? Do you do something else? Do you maintain your acting? Now you have a bunch of options, millions of options, but I'm gonna give you a couple. Now the first option is start reading scripts, books, monologues, plays, whatever. Let's say you're a complete freelancer, you have nothing sustainable, you're not in a theater group, you're not doing any of that stuff, you're just a complete freelancer. You watch a film, you're extremely touched by the film. Why? Why? Maybe read the script and realize, so the character went this way and this way. He went this way because of this. Boom! You like a monologue. Learn it, play it. Don't imitate. If you're not good, you don't need to imitate. I suck at imitations. I suck both. That doesn't make you a good or bad actor. It's just a skill, man. It's like touching my nose with my tongue. It's just a skill. Learn the monologue. Play it in your head. Play it. Just actually. Now that's the first tip. Watch stuff. Learn from them. Second tip. Make stuff. You don't need to be just an actor. Write a film. maybe get someone else to direct it. Maybe direct it yourself if you have the knowledge and the passion and all that stuff. Painting gives you so much. You can think as you're painting about acting, and then you're gonna become a better actor. Even William Defoe thinks this. Now, why? I think, let me give you one. Oh, you're painting. Oh, look at this painting. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna have this brushstroke, which is very chaotic, but bold, and also, with a statement. This brushstroke is a character, man. Imagine yourself as this brushstroke, and then when you get to play a character that's chaotic, bold, and has a statement, the brushstroke. Just think about this. So many ways. So you have learn from other stuff, you have create stuff. Third thing, networking, events, bars, cafes, social media, I don't know. Fourth thing, something I'm not doing, but I guess it's very good for people, is social media. I'm not good at social media. I'm not making any YouTube or Instagram or any of that stuff. Or I've decided to make this video because I have a day off right now, and I'd like to share some of my knowledge. Past knowledge. That's cool. If you go into the social media circuit, though, you might be the social media guy. That's if you're shooting only commercials, you're gonna be the commercial guy. If you're shooting only indie films, you're gonna become the indie film guy. Blockbuster guy. What do you want to be? That's it. 11 tips, baby. If you have any questions about acting, about the industry, about, this kind of topic, ask. I have a month now because I was about to shoot a film, but it got pushed for the next month, and I'm gonna answer them. I'm thinking about maybe being slightly more serious about this channel, and whenever I have a fluke about making a video, I will. It's mostly gonna be about art, to be honest. Sometimes it might be about physics, but it's mostly gonna be about art. Besides acting, I'm also directing, I'm also a cinematographer, and I compose music. I write stuff, but I wouldn't consider myself a writer. You might not think I shoot stuff because of the camera quality, but I sold all of my stuff because I don't need it, because I just rent, and I'm not paying that much attention to this shot. Just slightly. Yeah, soon 3 of my films are gonna come out, and I might go into details about, how I set up the light and all that stuff. I might not, we'll see. If this was helpful for you, subscribe, because there's gonna be more, helpful tips about the industry, or advices.